Gentlemen and female gentlemen. Last time I used that as a YouTube intro, people were thinking I was being transphobic because we were talking about Kris Tyson. So I decided to use it once again for this video so more people could think that, because I am a masochist. We're talking about Kris Tyson again. So I covered this last time, talking about Kris Tyson's involvement with Shadman, an artist that is not a lolly artist, but an artist who actually drew CP of actual real-life children. And Kris had an insane association with that creep freak weirdo who has DM'd me multiple times over the years, just random shit, how he's in defense of predators and stuff. But we're not getting into that much, because it got a billion times worse. Kris Tyson drops out of the race and freaking ended up getting exposed for interacting inappropriately with not one, but two underage people. One 13-year-old, one 14-year-old, allegedly. I say allegedly, but it's allegedly with an asterisk, because Kris ended up deactivating their entire Snapchat account to basically completely obliterate all messages that were there. Deleted everything on their Twitter, which is crazy. Made the worst apology of all time, saying, "I'd like to apologize for my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we mutually decided best to permanently step away from other Mr. Beast's social media, focus on my family mental health." Which I think is one of the worst responses I've ever seen in my life. Bro got alleged pedo allegations, responds with, "I'm sorry if you were offended," and proceeds to focus on mental health. Dr. Kris respect. The worst freaking response ever. Ironically, of course, because it's me and people hate me, you got the, "Nux, this isn't the own you think it is. The grooming allegations were proven false." They weren't proven false. The groomed said that they weren't groomed, but that's what being groomed is. "The only real bad thing they did was censor someone who draws bad stuff." This isn't just bad stuff like lolly shit, okay? Lolly shit, weird, all right? This guy didn't just draw bad stuff. He drew actual children. Actual children. Which you have done as well by putting that kind of art in your own thumbnails. Yeah, I put some cringe shit that I regret in thumbnails 5 years ago. Honestly, for shock value. That is not the same as someone that drew art of actual children. Okay? Don't be a hypocrite. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite because I don't put lolly art in my thumbnails anymore. He did not and has never endorsed Shadman. Having booba thumbnails is not the same as drawing real underage children like Keemstar's daughter getting raped, you moron. Also, grooming victims were all defend their abusers because they are groomed. You know nothing about sexual abuse. Holy shit. Bro, like, it's actually crazy. It's wild. It's insane. And guess what? Hell no does not follow me on Twitter. But Rex Saltas does. God, I love the internet so much. So this has been a crazy situation, all in all. And Kris has been goodbyed from Mr. Beast. The situation gets even wilder because Mr. Penguinz0, Charlie, the moist mogul himself, just dropped the Ava Kris Tyson is Crazy video 6 hours ago and got 2.5 million views. I did not yet see it. From what I understand, he calls out Sneeko and people in this video, which is why I'm super into it. I have already destroyed Kris Tyson in my last video, okay? Man is a creep, and it's scary to see people just be silent because for whatever reason, they don't want to either ruin their brand deals with Mr. Beast or they don't want to call out someone that's on their side of the political aisle. Whatever it is, the world is cringe, and Mr. Moist is going to set it right. Apparently, Moist completely destroys Kris Tyson in this video. So let's jump right into it, baby, and see what this is all about.
Yesterday, Ava Kris Tyson of the Mr. Beast crew had a ton of evidence surface about horrible behavior with how they communicated with minors, as well as a past of really disgusting shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah, I've already covered this once. If you want to see it, it is modeled off the Sunny V2 video where I titled it... Okay, I'm just going to show you this. I'm so proud of myself. Dude, there are a lot of wild titles and thumbnails on YouTube for this situation specifically just because so many people talked about it, but I won. I'm just saying I won. Kris Tyson just became a nightmare for Mr. Beast. Because the Sunny V2 made a video like 5 years ago saying that Kris Tyson will become a nightmare for Mr. Beast, so banger title. And the thumbnail, you have to watch the video. I explained the thumbnail in the video. It's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good stuff. But anyway, back to the Moist.
Calling the Season 7 writers of 2024 internet drama lazy because they're reusing a similar plot line. A lot of people drew comparisons to Dr. Disrespect recently.
Dude, it's insane what's been going on in 2024. They Not Like Us is just the actual goddamn 2024 national anthem. It's crazy.
Being outed for talking inappropriately to a minor. There are tons of screenshots to showcase exactly what was being said to someone who was between 13 and 14 years old at the time, and it's fucking gross. It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So, Ava Tyson was an adult at this.
It's over. It's fucking over. That's why if you went to my last video, okay? When you saw my last video about Kris Tyson became a nightmare for Mr. Beast, talking about all the Shadman stuff. The Shadman stuff is deplorable, okay? It's deplorable to so openly associate and buy art from them when they did that shit, okay? All right, that's crazy. This, in my opinion, is worse. All right, this was the slight little disagreement I had with the boys on the podcast that we recorded yesterday about this whole situation. They were more like the Shadman stuff is the worst, and I was like, nah, I think this is the worst. I don't know, man. It's all bad, all right? On the tier list, we're arguing whether it's S tier bad or A tier bad, but we both agree it's pretty awful. You cannot say this to a child. So it doesn't matter if Lava comes out now and's like, I was never actually groomed. It's irrelevant. This person is a danger. A danger.
At this point, Lava was a child. And
a 13-year-old, by the way. Not like, even Sneeko couldn't freaking understand this. Sneeko's like, oh, but if they're 17 and 364 days, maybe it's not so bad. No. First of all, it's bad. Second of all, this is a 13-year-old.
Things like, I posted some fire nudes.
Nux pedophile tier list when? Honestly, I might do that.
Nudes for you, please no share. And then other shit like, but not $5, pathetic JK kissy face. They seem to communicate a lot. Even
no, the camping trip, no.
Sending Snapchats. So here's one that says, coming for America.
This is a child, bro. This is deplorable. This is it. It's over. I think that there are no second chances allowed. But Kris apologized. Who cares? Who cares? Oh, but Kris reinvented himself. Who cares? Are you insane? Again, if it was one instance or two instances, controversial take, but it might be forgivable after a long time and hard work and proving themselves, okay? But when it's a billion of them, from the Shadman shit, a dozen different interactions with Shadman, buying pieces of art from Shadman, talking to multiple minors like this, it's over.
And then goes on to talk about being in a group chat and everything. And I've seen a lot of people try and cope and deflect, saying like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What?
I have seen so many people trying to defend Kris over this shit. Like, an unbelievable amount of people trying to defend Kris. Mind-blowing. I saw this, maybe I'm just not understanding the reality of the situation, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, never mind. They deleted the tweet. Well, never mind. They deleted the tweet. So I saw this famous YouTuber, Big Joel, who I think that, like, Big Joel makes some good shit. But I saw Big Joel's take on all this, and I was floored. Please tell me someone screenshotted it. Nope. It's all deleted. It's all deleted. All deleted. But, like, this whole big video just talking about how this happened a long time ago and it's not so bad or something. I couldn't believe it. Like, you have so many people coming to their defense.
A bunch of...
You also had, Ethan is online. Another one of these freaks coming out and defending it. Like, this isn't defensible. This is something that everyone should be able to unite upon. Politics or no politics. You're out of here.
Fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever.
It doesn't matter if the child says, but I wasn't really groomed. That doesn't matter, okay? You're a child. Shut the fuck up.
Jokes between...
That's what being groomed means. Freaking idiot. All right, we gotta add that one to the collage, though. Charlie Collage looking better every day. Every day, Charlie Collage looking better and better.
An adult and a child are still fucking gross. That's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is. Under no circumstances should an adult be in a group chat with a bunch of children sending coming for America pictures. Like, that's...
It's like the most obvious take in the universe, but yeah.
Still bad. That's still horrible. That's still really fucking weird. From what I can tell,
well, at least dicks were not entering any holes. So, like, as far as I can tell,
most of the screenshots and a lot of the compiled evidence comes from this YouTuber, Prism42. This seems to be where most of it started, and since this video dropped, there's been a lot more screenshots that have come out with...
So the Prism42 video, from what I understand, I could be totally wrong on this, so take it with a grain of salt. From what I understand, was not put together in the best of fates. But ultimately, it's what lit a fire under the ass of the community to actually find all this shit. So, the accidental dub, second to Sunny V2's, goes to Prism42.
All kinds of really bad things that were being said to or about minors. I've only shown a couple here, but there's quite a bit more, and they're all just as bad, if not worse.
They are worse.
Like, for some reason, Ava Tyson had a habit of calling a 13 or 14-year-old daddy. Like, you can't just write that.
No! It's like, well, you don't have all the proof. You have enough already, right? Like, come on, dude. Brother.
That off as being, like, quirky, inappropriate, edgy jokes that people are blowing out of proportion. That's unacceptable. It's indefensible. Now, the 13, 14-year-old in question for a lot of these messages is someone that has come forward to give their own accounts of the situation.
Yep.
And according to them, they don't believe that they were groomed or anything bad was done on...
I love how, like, also, if you look at the fucking Dexerto articles... Here, let me see. Dexerto... Kris... I don't know if I'm gonna find this shit. This is the worst shit in the universe. To see, this is how it's covered. Following accusations against Ava Kris Tyson for sending edgy jokes to a minor a number of years ago, the alleged victim has come forward calling the accusations massive lies and that Kris did nothing wrong. Look at the phrasing of this tweet. This is so insanely disingenuous. This is the most disingenuous crap I've ever seen in my life. Bro, like, you can't even make this up. Like, how on earth do you write an article like this? This is someone that was sending inappropriate shit to kids. Like, you frame it like Kris got canceled for edgy jokes, which was wrong. And the victim, in quotes, the alleged victim said it was a lie. The alleged victim was 13. Like, this is fucking crazy. It's like the whole world went completely hooey over this shit. Either they don't want to make enemies with Mr. Beast, or they feel like that they don't want to go against this political agenda. It was all fine to make fun of Dr. Disrespect because he didn't have the right politics or something. I don't know what was going on here, but this shit's wild.
The part of Ava Tyson or anything like that. And I'll just go ahead and give my take on it here. I talked about it on stream. And I'm not trying to be some kind of armchair psychologist because I'm just, at the end of the day, a little reptile brain idiot.
All right,
but I really do feel like in a situation like this, it's very difficult to process just how inappropriate or unacceptable something was when you lived it. I imagine that it's very difficult to view this as the person that you communicate.
What I think he's trying to say is that when someone gets groomed, they don't know that they're groomed. That is the definition of groomed, okay? Anakin did not know he was groomed to become Darth Vader when he became Darth Vader. Okay? And in sexual situations, it's even worse. Like, if you look up the definition of groomed, that is... Okay. This was a mistake, okay? Not this type of groomed. It's when you brush and clean the coat of a horse or dog. No, not that type of fucking... Yeah, sexual grooming is the action or behavior used to establish an emotional connection with a minor and sometimes the child's family to lower the child's inhibitions with the objective of sexual abuse. It can occur in various settings, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, you are establishing an emotional connection with a minor, okay? So when somebody gets groomed, they don't know that they are groomed. They don't know it's a bad thing because they have an emotional connection. That's what it means. So everyone's saying, but the minor came out defending Kris is such a bullshit nothing argument. What are you doing?
To so closely for so long was actually evil or doing things that were wrong. But in reality, no child should have this kind of relationship with an adult where you're joking about sending nudes to a minor. Yeah, or making edgy jokes about...
See, but the thing is, also, Kris's Snapchat was wiped, their Twitter was wiped. Once there's one alleged victim, and then a second alleged victim, And then the conversations come out. And then the Shadman stuff happens. You start to question, maybe there were more victims? Maybe it was more than just edgy jokes? These things don't happen in a void. It's almost every single time that there's multiple shit that goes on. Like, we are probably only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what actually happened. It's crazy.
Coming for America. So while the person here might not feel like a victim, it really is completely unacceptable that Ava Tyson would be communicating with them like this. It really is, no matter how it's spun. Now, it is important to mention that right now, most of the evidence is screenshots, so I guess there is the chance that some could be faked.
If it would be faked. This is how I would have worded the tweet. I wouldn't have said I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. I would have said the screenshots were faked. My only crime is edgy jokes and liking Shadman art. They were faked, right? You would think that would be the response, right?
But some of them seem very hard to fake, like there's a video going through a Snapchat conversation with a...
Yeah, I saw that. It's possible it's fake, but it's super unlikely. Just the way Kris and the victim were talking, and they're scrolling the Snapchat messages, and then Kris deletes their entire Snapchat account.
There's also confirmed things that were publicly tweeted from their account over the years, which I'll get to now. And it was also revealed that Ava Tyson had a history of being a Shadman enthusiast.
All right, here we go, baby.
Since all of the tweets have been deleted, it makes it very difficult to find the times that they communicated with Shadman.
A lot of people have... Shadman DM'd me back in the day. I don't remember when it was, but he has sent me so many cringe DMs over the years. It's wild. It's insane. Like, even before I knew about the Keemstar shit and all the crazy Shadman stuff that happened, I still got terrible vibes from this guy. I made a video catfishing predators, and he told me he really didn't like that I would catfish predators like that. I thought that was weird and cringe. And then I found out later that Shadman had this entire history of drawing actual children in sexual positions. Like, describing this makes me want to throw up, but... Shadman drew art of Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter having sex with Donald Trump. Okay? Like a full-ass comic of that shit. It was insane. Yeah, but do you own a lolly painting in your house? See, no. Obviously no. See, but that's the difference. A lot of people thought Shadman was just some sort of edgy guy that made shock value drawings. And once this came out, and once people knew about that, there is no excuse to continue associating with him. Kris made a stream shouting out Shadman.
Or talked about Shadman and the art, but I did find this from Mudahar's video, who went to the Wayback Machine and showcased this.
Dude, Muda does fucking good shit. God, that man's a fucking machine. I love that dude.
Tweet. And Mudahar censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18.
Yeah, the character appears to be the age of 6. I think it's important to reference that. It's not like, a mature 16-year-old. No.
For those of you that know that name, that might have just triggered a Winter Soldier moment in your brain with your eyes rolling into the back.
I remember getting those DMs from Shadman. Holy shit.
Back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was...
And at the time, I was like, well, this guy's cringe. I had no idea the extent of the degeneracy and fucking illegal shit this man has been doing.
...is an artist who drew child porn. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking about lolly or lolly hentai type shit, which is characters that look like...
He's gonna do the 5,000-year-old vampire, isn't he? He's gonna...
little girls, but are actually 5,000-year-old vampires.
There we fucking... I love it every single time.
Like, that's the...
Yeah, there are definitely levels to this shit. And, again, back in the day, I didn't think about it too closely. I think a lot of people are very desensitized to the lolly shit at this point. But there are many levels here. Lolly just means a childlike body type. A petite whammon is a lolly, okay? That's the majority of lollies. Like the lolly VTubers and lolly in anime and stuff. It's just a petite body type. Then you got the lolly porn, which actually looks like child porn. It's weird as fuck, okay? In my opinion. It's really weird. But again, not a crime. And then you got this, okay? We got a freaking Explain the levels of insanity here.
The meme. Fucking sipping from their Mountain Dew going, uncultured swine. You see, it's not actually a real child. This is a victimless crime. This may look like a 4-year-old girl, but you don't understand the lore. She's actually coming from a sophisticated line of goblin ogres, and she is over 400 years old.
You see, goblin ogre women just look like that, you see.
So it's completely legal, and you're weird for thinking that it's weird. But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing real children sexually. So one of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything. That is something that actually happened. And
it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, I feel like a lot of people ended up not disassociating with Shadman at this point because they hated Keemstar. And it's like, oh, well, we hate Keemstar anyway, so who cares? But that's insane to have a take like that. It is wild. Keemstar has never done anything this bad to anyone, as far as I know, unless he killed someone off screen at some point, which he could have done, realistically. I mean, look at Keemstar. That man looks like Jafar from Aladdin. Who knows? But as far as anyone knows, he has never done anything that bad.
You know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly.
Yes!
Like, a lot of people defended that.
Crazy.
Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, go Shadman, it's Keemstar, who cares? Doesn't
Holy shit, bro. True! This is what I'm saying!
matter, he deserves it anyway.
Oh, God.
Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next? He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment.
Yeah, this is why the internet is a fucking loony bin, and you can't trust anything.
So, anyway, Ava Tyson has publicly tweeted about Lolly, and in particular, there are tweets of Ava Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked.
Well, all the tweets are gone now. The Twitter account has been nuked. Bro, the only tweets left on Ava's Twitter is the apology.
There are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman.
And if not commissioned, definitely purchased and monetarily supported this freak.
Or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman.
Why do I add my comment? This man's fucking awesome. He says everything.
There's a clip from a Mr. Beast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall.
Yeah, I even made fun of this because you look at Mr. Beast, he's just staring at the art the whole time. Like, here's Kris in the front, and you have Mr. Beast in the back just staring at the artwork the entire time.
Belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons, but this is...
It's a child wearing a cap that says something like, please fuck me, I have autism, or something. And not wearing pants. It's gross. It's disgusting.
This is something that is irrefutable. The only question about Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson.
Which is wild.
And I don't think...
Which is wild. It's wild.
There's any wiggle...
I don't know. I played a clip in my last video talking about the Kris Tyson stuff, where we were talking to the Predator Poachers guy on our podcast. And he mentioned a very good point. He said that most people that like lolly shit are attracted to children. It's like saying seeing someone is watching gay hentai, but they're not gay in real life. Like, that was the equivalence he made. And he makes a pretty good point. He does. Man made a pretty good point.
Room to just explain this away as some kind of innocent whoops-a-daisy moment of being ignorant of what the art was. With Ava Tyson having publicly talked about content and art like that, and then also owning a Shadman piece, I don't think it's some kind of coincidence. Like, I don't think it was an accident and they didn't know Shadman drew child porn. The
shakaroony. Yeah.
Really don't. And then yet another disturbing video surfaced where they had actually made a video a long time ago.
Oh, shit. He didn't even mention the shout out. He didn't even mention shouting Shadman out. Okay, dude, I'll show you this clip. This clip is fucking gross. It's describable. So there were a lot of tweets about Shadman specifically, but in my opinion, this one's the worst. So I'm just gonna show you this in my video. It's there at some point. Oh, don't beg! Don't! Oh God, dude, this whole thing was just gross.
Who will post a clip from their live stream where they accidentally visited Shadman's website. What's even
Shadman's website was the autofill for the letter S on his computer. Okay? That is weird. That is weird. You type S in on your computer and Shadman is the autofill? Brother. But anyway, it gets worse.
weirder is that
listen, yeah, whatever. I just want you to see the clip. I just want you to see the clip, brothers. Went to Twitter to shout. Went 17, 28 years, by the way. Wait, the other tweets, 29. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so then they make this tweet.
accidentally.
Then. Shout out to Shadbase for having safe for work drawings today. Accidentally pull up his website on stream, Lamau, and then posted the clip. Like, this isn't just, why aren't you on incognito mode? This is crazy. This is insane. Brother. Actually wild.
That linked to revenge porn of Jeanette Mc...
Alright. So this next shit is also awful. Like, really awful.
He made a video a long time ago that linked to revenge porn of Jeanette McCurdy.
The story is she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. And but the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know
oh my God!
You know, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
That's crazy.
I'm not endorsing the revenge porn, but like I am linking it in the description in case you want to see it. Listen, I'm not endorsing it or anything, but in case you're curious, it's there. And the craziest thing is, I'm pretty sure it's still on the channel. Oh, they deleted it. They just deleted the video today. It was on this channel as of yesterday with 85,000 views. It was right here. On the channel yesterday. Oh my God, it's crazy.
That's astonishing. Sharing revenge porn publicly and trying to spin it like, well, some people might want to see this, so for you degenerates, I posted the link in the description.
Did you see that Ava messaged Muda to complain about him including kiwi farms in the Keffels video? Yes, simply because I was on the podcast with Mudahar and he told me that story and my jaw was on the floor. The fact that Kris Tyson from Mr. Beast defended Keffels even remotely is mind-boggling to me. Like, but it just goes to show, it's like people pick sides on the internet based on politics or whatever, and suddenly any affront to your politics are an affront to you. Like, I saw so many people saying like, oh, this is a huge L for the trans community. Well, I mean, it's a huge L for you know, pedophiles. Doesn't matter where you are, what you do, or what your political alignment is. It's like, what is wrong with you? This really happens, and you think to yourself that, oh shit, the poor trans people? No, the poor children. It's mind-boggling to me that this became political.
If you want to check that out.
Oh my God.
But you'd be weird to do that, and I'm not endorsing it.
True.
That's unhinged.
Yeah,
completely
that's wild.
Unhinged. So all of this started to hit the mainstream. More and more people started sharing screenshots as well as other chat logs, all kinds of things, with a history of communicating inappropriately with or about minors. And in response, a couple hours ago, Ava Tyson did make a statement, and this is what was said. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone.
Apology not accepted.
It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and
mutually
social media to focus on my family and mental health.
It's like, bro, yes. it's the crazy. Imagine this. Person gets outed as a pedophile. I would like to now focus on my family and my 2-year-old child. I feel like that would be much better. I would like to focus on myself now. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? They not like us, for real. They just not like us. They ain't like us, brothers and homies. They just ain't. I even made the tweet, they ain't like us. And the people, look at this shit. This is crazy. They not like I say they not like us, which is a pretty nothing burger of a thing. The alleged victim denied the accusations. Pot calling the kettle black. What does this even mean? Are you calling me a pedophile, Mr. Stormy? Like, how on earth could you even be like this? It's crazy. It's crazy.
That is kind of a textbook non-apology. It doesn't address
I apologize if I offended anyone. I'm going to spend time with my family.
Anything. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like this blank.
In fact, I would actually prefer if you did not focus on your child at all right now. That would be really nice.
Blanket boilerplate statement about stepping away. There's no denial of anything, no claims that some of the information is false, made up, fabricated, a lie, a fib, a bunch of malarkey, nothing at all. You would really think that if any of the information was wrong or fake, that would be one of the first things that Ava Tyson would want to set the record straight on.
When someone makes an apology video, or an apology tweet, or a clearing the air moment, you would think that the first thing they actually do is deny the shit that's fake. That's what people do, right? I remember when I was in my drama, and people came out of the woodwork trying to cancel me for random shit. Obviously, the stuff I'm gonna disprove the fake stuff. Like, what are you doing? It's like Kris's apology is for making edgy tweets when the actual allegation is being a groomer. Like, how on earth does that happen?
But that didn't happen. Even if it was something like needing more time, I really feel like that would have been expressed in the statement, saying, need more time to talk about all of these things that are incorrect. But again, that's not there. So they're assumed to be all correct at this point. And they're indefensible, the things that have come out here.
Yep.
As I was rendering this video, Ava Tyson dropped more tweets claiming that no one was ever...
New response, let's go, let's go.
...groomed, and then states that the victim vocally supported that that's false.
That means nothing! That means nothing! The victim supported that I didn't groom them. Yeah, but they were groomed, so it doesn't matter. You were sending them coming for America Snapchats among insane send me your nudes and calling them daddy. That's inappropriate conversations with a minor. Get out of here. That's not a defense.
I again, already told you my feelings on that. I really don't think a child who has this kind of relationship with an adult would ever really recognize just how inappropriate it was because it became so normalized to them, which it never should be.
Yeah, this Lava GS, this poor victim, give him another 10 years and he'll be in therapy, all right? And he'll remember why this was tragic, okay? Like, this is such a stupid defense.
It's a horrible thing, and there really is no excusing it in my...
This is like saying, yes, I had sex with a child, but in my defense, they consented. It's like, they're a child. What are you doing?
Guys, going further...
It's gonna get clipped out of context, for real, for real.
There's an apology about unacceptable social media posts, and then saying that it was edgy jokes and that it was unacceptable humor, that it's like a thing of the past, and it's been misconstrued into things that didn't happen, and then not wanting the accusations to impact hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why Ava Tyson has stepped away.
This is the worst response ever. What is this? Mr. Beast money couldn't pay for a PR guy? Having said that, I humbly apologize, bro. Senator Palpatine humbly accepted the burden of taking over the world, okay? The same vibes. I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. What does that even mean? I'm sorry for stuff that happened. Sure, alright, I'm sure you are. Sorry that you got caught, or sorry that you did that shit. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. You called a child daddy. You sent them Snapchats. You leaked revenge porn. You supported an artist that drew porn of Keemstar's 8-year-old child. Like, how on earth does that... In the past years, I've learned that my old humor is not acceptable. Oh, God. Remember the old humor when Kris Tyson bought art from Shadman and hung it on their living room wall? Remember that, bro? Remember that? Ah, yes. Remember the old humor of saying coming for America to a child and being in explicit Snapchat conversations with them to the point that Kris had to delete their entire Snapchat account? I cannot change who I was. but I continue to work on myself. Yeah, that means a whole lot. Like, that doesn't work if what you were was someone that was grooming kids, okay? That works if it was really just old humor. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I've stepped away. Oh, yes, yes. Not because Kris Tyson did anything wrong, but because they are a benevolent master who doesn't want anyone else to be dragged in the mud. Bro, this is fucking gross. For all this stuff to come out and to say that, oh yes, I don't want to impact Mr. Beast, so I'm stepping away. Not that I really did anything wrong.
I just don't think you can write off a lot of those social media posts as edgy jokes or edgy humor.
Remember the edgy jokes when he groomed a child? Yes, yes. Remember the edgy joke when... like, what does that even mean? God, this is gross.
When you actually owned art from an artist who draws child porn. That's not a joke anymore. Haha, bought some child porn art.
I made the same joke. Haha, bought some child porn art. There it is, in my bedroom. Groom's child. It's just a prank, bro. Got him.
Like, that's not exactly side-splitting comedy. Like, I don't really think you can just go ahead and hand-wave that as being edgy.
Yeah, and the idea that, oh yes, Kris is just leaving Mr. Beast because they don't want Mr. Beast to get in more trouble. Oh, that's so wholesome of them.
Like, old humor that you've grown from. And then some of the tweets about it and, like, requests. What's...
Dude. Oh, the collage gets better and better!
The joke, like, what's the punchline of that?
The punchline, you see, is that, you know how comedy works in many different ways. Comedy usually needs, like, some sort of twist and some sort of surprise in order to make it funny. If it's super predictable, like, or if the punchline is spoiled and the joke isn't funny, you see, no one expected the child to get groomed. Ah, yes. Peak comedy has been achieved.
I really don't think you can just say, oh, it's just edgy jokes that are blown out of proportion. Sorry if people
trying to strike a chord
were offended by it. Like, that just doesn't really work to me. As of right now, there's been no response from Mr. Beast or anyone else on the team about all of this.
Yeah, at this point I feel like that's probably not gonna happen, really. Like, Kris made their response. I think Mr. Beast can, like, wash his hands of this whole shit. God damn.
So, it remains to be seen whether or not Jimmy or anyone else on the team knew about these things or what's going on there, but as of me making this video, there's still no response yet.
It was Shadman art in the centerpiece of Kris's living room. The idea that they knew nothing is unlikely. Okay? Let's trying to be real here. I'm not trying to throw anyone else into this guilt by association crap, okay? Ultimately, in my opinion, the ultimate guilty thing that Kris did was fucking groom kids. As far as I saw, right? Inappropriate sexual conversations with minors is definitely the worst thing, and I'm not gonna say that someone like that Mr. Beast knew about that. Probably not, realistically. However...
So, this whole situation is obviously horrible. And there's a little bit more I want to talk about here.
Oh,
and it's something I didn't even think I'd ever need to talk about, but I guess...
There's more?! Wait, here we go. I'm buckling in.
Yes, we've reached this point in the internet where
Locked
this is
in,
necessary.
baby.
I've been being attacked on Twitter, just fucking dogpiled, about my ignoring the situation and...
He's so right to include this in the fucking video. Holy shit. Are we getting the resurgence of the Sneeko versus Moist Critical beef? These people are all demented. Charlie waited for the response to make the video, and everyone dogpiles him like he's keeping his silence, even though he mentioned it on stream and posted it on his second channel.
Refusing to speak on it, being too much of a coward to talk about all this, which is crazy to me. And then people saying like, oh, where was the same energy for where was the same energy that you had for Dr. Disrespect here? And it's crazy that I even have to talk about this. So, last night during stream, this story was still breaking. Things were still coming out about this story. And I talked about it on stream last night. The same day all of these...
Immediately!
Pieces of evidence were surfacing.
Yep.
I talked about it immediately. Once I became aware of what the evidence was out there and what the claims were and what was going on, I was talking about it right away. And I even posted a video that is highly edited and short, nice and concise, about the whole bare bones of the situation and my thoughts on it for the...
And it has 500,000 views, by the way!
...second channel, so that way even if you have the biggest brain rot and can't focus on a video for long, you can still finish that whole video and see just how bad this whole Ava Tyson situation is. So I talked about it immediately, but Twitter didn't see that video. And
of course they saw that video. They would just wanted an excuse. It's all an excuse. Of course they saw the video. It was just, but you didn't post it on your main channel.
The ones that did wrote it off as, oh, he's only going to put this on his second channel because he's afraid to put it on his main channel.
Yeah.
He didn't do that for Dr. Disrespect. He was like that with Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
You are provably wrong. All you had to do was activate a few fucking neurons in your noodle. Check my Dr. Disrespect video. I posted it at, I think it was 9 p.m. on June 22nd. June 22nd is when my Dr. Disrespect video went up. The allegation...
I used the same title. Dr. Disrespect situation is crazy. Ava Kris Tyson situation is crazy. He is nothing if not fucking on the ball.
Against Dr. Disrespect was on June 21st. So what happened is, that allegation came out. I talked about it on stream. Dr. Disrespect made a statement as well the same day that I talked about on stream. Then the following day, almost a full 24 hours later, I made the video talking about it. And in this situation, it is the exact same timeline. I was talking about it as everything was unfolding. I even had a video go up on the second channel going over everything that was coming out. And now I'm making the full video about it 24 hours later.
Yeah, this is just the complete and utter moral victory for Charlie. And the fucking brain-rotted idiots that go out there. Listen, I covered it immediately, but just the Shadman stuff. Obviously, it was still a breaking story at the time. You know, I posted the video a day before Charlie, or a day and a half before Charlie, because I didn't even cover the actual shit. Like, it got so much worse since the Shadman stuff. It is mind-boggling to hear this shit. And people going after Charlie because he's playing sides and playing politics. I made this video talking about the Charlie smear campaign, right? This is not just Sneeko or whatever. There is a lot of people that literally hate on Charlie and tried to make it here, the Penguinz0 smear campaign. So first of all, I think this was a pretty banger video. And I talk about the idea that people are coming after Charlie, trying to make him sound like he has no moral stances or he's afraid to rustle feathers or any of that shit. And I think that this man has kind of been on fire.
It's the exact same speed and same energy as the Dr. Disrespect situation. And the main person who started this...
See, I think the people you can complain about are like, no offense to anyone here in particular, but I think Hassan had a pretty bad take when it comes to the Kris Tyson stuff. Let me see if I can find it. Look at the reason why Hassan didn't talk about the Kris Tyson stuff. You see, now this is something that I think could be criticized.
Has Hassan talked about Mr. Beast Kris? Think about this.
Think about it. Think.
This is no different than the Cody Ko shit where people were just like, hey, I know that the current sitting president dropped out of the re-election campaign in the most historic thing that has happened in this election cycle, in a sea of historic things that have happened so far. Has Hassan talked about Mr. Beast Kris? Oh no, don't ban me. Just a question. I'm not.
So the response is, the reason why Hassan didn't talk about Mr. Beast Kris is because lots of stuff is going on, and Hassan does not have time for that. You see, listen to the example he gives.
Has Hassan talked about Mr. Beast Kris? Think about this.
All right, let's think.
This is no different than the Cody Ko shit where people...
6 days ago, Hassan made a video on the Cody Ko shit. Like, this is just wild. Like, what are you doing, bro? You're that busy, bro? You're that busy? Like, you can't cover the Mr. Beast stuff, but you could definitely cover the Cody Ko shit. But then you make this equivalence to the Cody Ko shit, which is why you can't cover the Mr. Beast stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, my brother, my dude, my guy. Come on, man. You sit and watch YouTube videos all day. I know that you're largely political, but... And I'm not saying that you have to cover this. See, I am of the idea that you do not have to cover everything, okay? You don't have to cover everything. But the excuse is you're too busy when you've done the same thing 5 days ago. You do realize this is when Trump got shot. But politics shit was so much more busy 6 days ago, right? Like, here's Trump getting shot. Here's the Cody Ko stuff. Like, politics were popping even more back then. All right, dude. All right, dude. All right, dude. He waited forever on the Cody Ko stuff. First of all, he didn't wait forever. And second of all, I'm not saying that he can't wait. I'm not saying that he even needs to necessarily cover it. I do think, though, that the response, I'm too busy, politics is happening, and I don't cover it like the Cody Ko shit, is just wrong.
A lightning rod of accusations about me ducking it and refusing to address it is fucking Sneeko of all people.
Yo, look out. Moist Critical is not going to go talk about the Kris situation because he wants...
Well, he was wrong. Sneeko was wrong. Huge Sneeko L. Moist Critical did talk about it. Shut the fuck up, Sneeko. Go suck some dick in... Where are you now? Lebanon.
Wants to have the Mr. Beast collab. Bro, you're going to talk about every other trending situation, Dr. Disrespect, Sneeko, anything that goes viral goes on your main channel. Kris, the associate of the biggest YouTube channel in the world, you do a 4-minute clip on your second channel.
He made a 22-minute video on the main channel at the same timeline. Eat shit, Sneeko. Freaking loser. This is what he does. He's just monitoring Charlie channels. Bro is sitting in the cuck chair in real life.
Stop coping.
Watching Charlie get the action. What is wrong with you?
And be a journalist if you're going to be a journalist.
He's not a journalist. He just talks about funky shit on the internet. And he did cover it. Oh, huge Sneeko L. You love to see it.
Or just say that you want to have the collab. Stop lying.
Jesus Christ, the fucking drool there is gonna drive me insane.
And you want to know the biggest irony of it all? The hugeness of the Sneeko L? Sneeko saying you gotta be even, all right? You gotta be fair, and you gotta be awesome. You gotta call out Kris for Mr. Beast, and you gotta call out Dr. Disrespect equally. Well, you fucking lobotomite piece of human garbage. You know who didn't call out Dr. Disrespect? You! You are blaming other people for taking sides and playing with, all that shit, but Sneeko defended Dr. Disrespect! Sneeko's the guy that came out after Dr. Disrespect admitted to talking to minors. Sneeko comes out of the woodwork to say, but what if she was 17 and in 364 days? We don't know the evidence and people are calling him out. It's so wrong. I literally made a video calling Sneeko and the quartering out for defending Dr. Disrespect. You dare call someone else for picking sides in politics when you are literally picking sides with two predators where you're only going to call out one? Like, actual demented piece of crap.
I need to go put on the fucking bathrobe here and give him PTSD or something. What do you...
Dude, these are mags, not clips. Mags! Anyway, that's another one for the Charlie collage right there.
You mean it is a 4-minute clip because I did that so people like you who don't pay attention long enough could see my take on it and also get the bare bones information of what makes it so horrible. That's the reason it's a 4-minute clip on the second channel. It was never going to be the only video I made talking about it. I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. So yes, you're right. I do talk about like big trending bad shit like Dr. Disrespect or like Cody Ko most recently. I don't know why people thought I wouldn't talk about this. I knew Cody...
This was the most obvious Moist Critical video of all time. Do you have any idea how many people in my comments, when I made the video a day and a half ago, okay? I got people in my comments, can't wait for you to react to the Moist Critical video when that's made. There was no one uncertain about the creation of this video.
Cody Ko far more than I knew Ava Tyson. I talked to Cody Ko at length one time on his podcast and then one other time in DMs. Ava Tyson, I met 1.5 times. I first met them after a poker game with Mr. Beast. They showed up right at the end, right before I left. And then at the most recent Mr. Beast video, also right when I got out, Ava Tyson showed up and I talked to them for a couple of minutes. But I never knew Ava Tyson very well. Cody Ko I did, and I still wasn't afraid to talk about how awful his shit was. So I've never been someone to fucking shy away from a bad situation like this just because I know or am familiar with the person.
Bro, speaking at 2x speed to fucking shut this cuck up.
It's about. So I don't know why people thought
God, I hope he brings up the idea that Sneeko himself only plays one side. God, for me that's the most damning shit. It's like Sneeko is the guy that didn't call out Dr. Disrespect, but is now blaming people for not calling out Kris Tyson fast enough.
That would be the case here. And also, for the millionth fucking time, I'm not a journalist. I'm like the Z-tier stupid journalist, like this actual layman fucking CTE-riddled idiot that reports on stories, and I talk about them, usually to make jokes about them.
He does! He talks about goofy things and cringe shit that happens on the internet. Like, how do people miss this? It's crazy.
There are cases, and recently it's been very common, there's serious stories that I am very passionate about delivering and talking about how shitty they are. So, like, in a situation like this, yeah, this isn't
really... Charlie's just a guy doing shit in the room, and he catches so much slack.
A story that I joke a lot about because it is serious. When there is a victim who is a child here, that's something to take seriously. But I'm not a fucking journalist. Most of the shit I talk about is the most inconsequential mumbo-jumbo ever, like aliens in warp drives, Or that recent story about how scientists discovered hippos can fly because they get airborne for a split second, literally like one half of a frame.
I saw that video. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? The journalist played Elden Ring.
They're able to get all 4 little legs off the ground. And I talk about those stories and joke about them. It's just talking about shit to joke about it for the most part, except in cases like this, where it is a serious story that I talk about. Now, Sneeko, I hope you're ready for the cold water here, because I'm going to be brutally honest.
Please, bring up the Dr. Disrespecting, please! God!
With you, when this story broke, I thought for sure I would have actually bet money that you would have been some kind of contrarian talking about how this is actually not a big deal and everyone who's pretending to be outraged about it is actually just a hypocrite. Because you have been on this crusade for a while now about not agreeing with the age of consent. So I really thought you'd be talking about—
Oh, that's the angle he takes it, bro! Bro, just bend Sneeko over the knee and annihilate him. I mentioned this earlier. Sneeko doesn't believe in the age of consent. He believes in the age of maturity. If she bleeds, she breeds. That's the Sneeko take. And it is fucking gross, disgusting, despicable shit in the universe. And the fact that Sneeko, of all people, is going out here... God, fuck, Charlie, fucking kill him. Kill him again! Bring it up! Sneeko, Charlie drama round 2. Let's go.
About how, oh, this is just like Dr. Disrespect, who you ran hard defense for with this.
That's right! God, can't tear him to shreds, bro! Do to Sneeko what freaking Homelander did to Bug Guy. Just, oh, God!
Imaginary 17-year-old you cooked up in your head based off of one fake email from an anonymous source. And I thought you would be going that angle again, saying like, oh, well, that 13-year-old was probably...
Well, obviously he's not going to go that angle because he hates trans people. So, of course, this is the easiest Sneeko dunk on the planet.
Very mature.
Age of consent should be maturity. It's not even 18 in most states. Why do you even believe that? It's because in Hollywood, it's 18, so that gets pushed everywhere.
Yeah, it's pushed everywhere, guys. It's pushed everywhere. I love how he puts the freaking branding on it. He is so confident with this shit. This is crazy.
This is 16. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent is the age of maturity. It should be called the age of marriage. Age of consent implies that you're gonna have out of wedlock. I think it's better that people...
Says the guy who has insane amounts of sex out of wedlock.
...get married at 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs. I think that...
What the fuck is wrong with him?
That's better for society.
He's so pseudo-intellectual that he actually argues for things that defend pedophilia. That's fucking ridiculous.
Big shock. He actually loves Cuties. Remember the Cuties movie on Netflix? His favorite movie of all time? Yeah, I remember
And when
that.
challenged on this, it's even worse.
I'll bring up the Destiny clip. He fucking eats this man's ass. God, Sneeko's the biggest fucking public urinal on the internet. It's amazing.
So there's an older clip now, it's quite a few months old, where XQC and Destiny actually challenge him on this right to his face, and holy shit, it's bad.
I am really enjoying myself right now. Oh God, another one for the collage. But I am really enjoying myself.
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told you.
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to fuck 9-year-olds. That's what Sneeko thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's gonna have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality, he's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to fucking that fucking corner in London where you're getting roasted by year 1 debaters on fucking Christianity. This is retarded. I don't know what the fuck you're doing in here.
Okay, so you can leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this word.
I don't want to leave the call. I like hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past, so.
Oh damn! Oh
I'm
brother!
actually curious now. What do you think the age of development is?
I just told you. It depends on where you are. It depends on the world.
Then at what stage do you think somebody is developed in it? What stage of development? Because there's a lot of stages of development.
It varies.
It varies, bro.
It varies on the what?
I think it varies on the age.
Varies.
It varies on the age.
Varies on the
Where
age.
you are.
You need to have set age.
What age should be the age of consent? Well, it varies on the age, you see.
Ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent,
You can hear him start to snivel in the background there as he's sucking up snot from his nose, getting cooked, and his brain is fucking overheating, malfunctioning.
Dude, imagine getting absolutely intellectually obliterated by XQC. Holy shit.
Trying to formulate some kind of response to the easiest question in the world about what he thinks the age of consent should be. He keeps talking about the age of development and then can't even put a number on it. So everyone, please feel free to ask Sneeko what he thinks the age of consent should be if you want to see a human being fucking glitch out and malfunction like an Oblivion NPC.
Just literally, man, no clips into the freaking back rooms, bro. Every time you even mention this, it's like, it's crazy.
Can't answer the most basic question in the world. That is concerning. You realize how deranged that makes you look, Sneeko? That makes you look like an actual danger to society, that you don't agree with the age of consent and try and argue around it. That's what every pedophile ever that Chris Hansen talked to would do. Like, you're a fucking weirdo. So for you, of all people, this fucking putrid vermin, this absolute slimy
annihilate him. You have no idea how happy I am. One of my, so I've brought this up before. People told me that, everyone knows I'm a big Charlie Glazer, okay? I love this man. So much. Great content. I think he's a man of principle, and I love this dude. And so many times people ask me to criticize one thing of Charlie's. And just because I think that no one's perfect, everyone deserves some criticism for some shit. There's plenty of stuff you can criticize me for if you want. My one criticism of Charlie is that he's not hard enough on Sneeko. I have to find a new criticism, ladies and gentlemen.
To have the gall to say that I only care about the Mr. Beast collab, thus this whole story is just relegated. You'd never use that word. That word's too big for you.
Yeah, he doesn't know what relegated means.
This whole story is just put on his second channel where no one's gonna see it because it's safer that way so he can keep the Mr. Beast collab alive. He's afraid, he's a coward for it. He has no problem abandoning his morals and defending blatant pedophilia, brushing it under the rug as long as it means it keeps the Mr. Beast collab alive. For you to make insinuations like that and even claims like that is fucking unhinged.
Says the guy who gobbles every cock he could find. He literally sucked Keem dick until Keem got him on the fucking on his show. Then he fired him. He sucked Mr. Beast dick until he was on Mr. Beast's show. Mr. Beast then fired him. He sucked Andrew Schultz dick until Andrew Schultz got him on the show. But Andrew Schultz was too Jewish, so he had to leave, etc., etc.
Considering you make actual pedophile defense arguments constantly, and you have publicly put on the clown makeup and worn white knight armor complete with the shield to defend Dr. Disrespect when he himself publicly admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately. It's fucking insanity.
It makes me... It's wild. And people are out here being like, well, Sneeko took the W in the end. What W? What are you saying? He's calling out people for being silent. Meanwhile, he was silent.
I want to spit that I even have to talk about this, but it became such a huge, fiery issue on Twitter about me specifically that I felt the need to have to include this in this video.
I don't know, based. Any Sneeko cock slapping, and I'll be happy.
Which should have been entirely focused on everything Ava Tyson has done and why it is so shitty. But now I've had to dedicate a sizable chunk to talking about these claims against me, about how I'm not going to talk about it and was not going to talk about it until pressure from Twitter forced me to, even though I had talked about it as it was developing and even mentioned on stream I was going to make a video on it. So to bring it all back to what should actually be the focus.
These children are getting, unfortunately, abused by YouTubers. It's fucking awful. And Kendrick Lamar stans keep winning.
Ava Tyson's situation and how horrible it is, I believe that it is an unforgivable thing that has been done. Talking to minors inappropriately is horrible. And having this kind of continued relationship with a minor where you're sharing edgy and inappropriate jokes back and forth and being in group chats and voice chats with children and saying gross things around them is so weird that it is not okay under any situation. It's disgusting behavior. And publicly supporting an artist who draws child porn and even owning art from that artist and talking about art like that and the revenge porn, all of it is very fucking bad.
Very bad.
It's horrible. I'm not pulling any punches here on my feelings around it. So yes, I wanted to talk about this, and that's really about it. See ya.
Yeah, this was a shit show and a half. Honestly, this whole situation was just completely disgusting. I hated it, man. I hated it, and pedophiles are bad, and it doesn't matter who the fuck you are or what political group you're in or how you associate with whoever and who your friends are and anything else that people like using as buzzwords in the world. Y'all are insane. Pedophiles bad. Don't abuse children. What the fuck is this year? I hate it so much. Kendrick Lamar stands keep winning. And Sneeko's a fucking cuck. And Chris Tyson is a monster. Thank you all so much for joining. The incredible hot takes. Fucking Charlie annihilated everyone. This was a good day to not be a child. Stay weird, fam. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for drama. I am someone that sits back on the sidelines and just waits and watches. I am an observer. I have decided to go a different route with my content. the route of observing fucking everything that happens in the universe. So that is what we are doing, all right? We are watching the lore, we are doing the drama, the deep dives. My man Penguinz0 just did a deep dive down on Dan Schneider's insanity. Bro pulled out the ukulele and it's been awful. It's been freaking gross. I've decided that my contribution to the entertainment industry from this moment forward will be behind the scenes mostly, and in the public spectacle I will be the chaotic neutral, just sitting here going crazy. Apparently Dan Schneider's been up to some for a long time. Like, I don't know a lot, to be honest, about this one specifically. People tell me it's like Jeffrey Epstein level messed up, which obviously I don't like to hear at all, and my heart goes out to every victim. Holy shit. So let's jump into it. Let's see what my moist man has to say about this.
During the 90s or the early 2000s, there's an extremely high chance that you watch some of Dan Schneider's.
It's so rough. It's so rough when, like, you love something, you appreciate it, you feel connected to it, like, as a piece of media, then it turns out the guy that made it is just, like, a massive piece of shit.
It was, like, impossible to avoid him. It'd be like trying to dodge raindrops during a thunderstorm. Dan Schneider, during this period, was the king of children's television programs.
Yeah.
He made...
Man was the god of Nickelodeon.
Some of the most influential productions like Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, iCarly.
I loved Drake and Josh as a kid. Like, that was one of my favorite shows.
His resume is just stacked with tons of shows that I imagine meant a lot to many of you growing up.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, you meant a lot to the creator of these shows as well.
Yeah, because they made money off of our asses. Bro! Of course we meant a lot to them. Are you kidding? Duh!
Well, not so much you, but your feet certainly did.
What?
The creator of these shows is a monstrous foot fetishist. Dan, get in the van.
Yeah, it's so weird how many people got outed as specifically foot fetish people. Chugga Conroy, guy has like 1 million subs on YouTube making Let's Play videos, and he was just outed for being a massive foot fetish guy. Like, what is going on? Dude, stay away from the feet people, honestly. Except for Nags. Nags is the only foot fetish guy that I could get behind. But, like, dude!
He is a vile, creepy, disgusting human being, and this has been known for years.
I don't think saying that big Hollywood executive producer guy is a bad dude is a controversial take. They're probably all assholes. Like, the amount of manipulation and crazy shit that goes on in, like, that industry is baffling. It's baffling.
A new docuseries just dropped, really diving into the subject matter and putting a spotlight on it in a way that hasn't previously been explored.
Yeah.
It's called Quiet on Set. Now, if you don't know what Dan...
Oh my god, dude. Dude wasn't quiet on set because the gravitational rotation of the Earth changed with every footstep he took.
And looks like, here's a nice picture of him here. He looks like he was made in the Dragon's Dogma 2 character.
Bro looks like the Michelin Man.
Creator. And Dan Schneider has become the face of Quiet on Set. However, it actually explores more than that. It's like a whole deep look at all of the horrible...
Bro looks like the Godskin Noble. Oh, stop doing that.
Things that were going on during these Nickelodeon productions.
He doesn't just like feet, he eats feet. Okay, stop. Enough. It's over.
More than just Dan, but he obviously plays a central role here because he made these shows. He was the head honcho of most of this. And he was well aware of some of these terrible and downright criminal things that were going on behind the scenes.
I absolutely hate when people think that being silent about this shit is okay. It's like, yeah, I know that this is all going on, but like, listen, we'll just ignore it. They're friends of the show.
Some of these shows. And the reason I mention the foot fetishism off rip here is because that was one of the first things that people really caught on to in the public eye. After Dan's glory days at Nickelodeon, people started to pick up on how odd it was that a lot of these children's shows had an emphasis on feet.
Is that even... No shot. He put his foot fetish shit into the kids' shows? There's no way. Just casually in the shot. There's no way he got away with this. Okay, dude. Whoever made this clip, age restricted. Oh my god, what the fuck?
Pretty frequently, it was a common thread throughout a lot of these shows.
That's
like
wild.
Feet humor and having these child actors and actresses displaying their feet. And in 2013, one of the shows Dan worked on, Sam and Cat, actually ran a competition where kids were supposed to submit pictures of their feet to them.
That is messed up! That's awful. How did they get away with this?
Weird. No matter how you spin it, that's a really weird thing to request from your audience of children, to take pictures of their feet for you. That's just downright creepy and wrong.
It's awful. It's especially knowing that it's coming from like some weird sexual place. That just makes it so much worse.
I can't believe that tweet is still up, by the way, over a decade later, and no one thought to delete that. That is impressive. But anyway.
They forgot the code to the account.
People started to pick up on Dan's fixation with stompers, and it seemed like his fetish was bleeding into his work, and he was having the children unknowingly participate in it by having them display their feet. What? That's what it seemed to a lot of people, so it was obviously...
It was awkward that he was just gooning to child feet in his office.
Very concerning, so people did more and more digging. They found more and more evidence of Dan being an awful piece of shit behind the scenes with a lot of shady things going on there. And it just led to this reputation that people for years have known that Dan blows loads to toes Schneider.
He did not just make that up, right? Like, what? Charles
is not a good person.
Yeah, bro, this is the video where Charlie destroys Dan Schneider. It's over. I will never unhear blows loads to toes.
And now, Quiet on the Set has released, and so much information has come out, not just about Dan, but about that entire Nickelodeon workplace around these child stars. Arguably the largest piece of new information that dropped during this docuseries was the sexual abuse of Drake Bell by someone named Brian Peck.
Oh my fucking god, dude. It always gets there. It's like, it always fucking gets there, dude. Do you know why people with foot fetishes never win in the end? Because they like the taste of defeat.
So, Brian Peck was a coach at Nickelodeon whom was sexually abusing Drake Bell. And he was actually convicted in 2004. He spent 16 months in the slammer, and then immediately upon release, landed a job with Disney.
What? This dude was in prison for 16 months for being a pedophile. Lewd conduct with a minor. And they immediately give him a job in Disney to work with kids?
If that doesn't show just how rotten to the core this industry is, I don't know what will. There is deep-seated evil in Hollywood. He went to jail for lewd acts with a minor. He is a sex offender, a convicted sex offender, and he
with children, nonetheless.
Immediately got a Disney Channel job working on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. What the fuck? That's
crazy.
Mind-bogglingly evil. Like that's not just irresponsible, that's malicious. It's not like they just made some kind of mistake where they put a sex offender in a role where he works almost exclusively with children. It's not like they made a whoopsie-daisy, they just happened to overlook that he's a sex offender.
No, that you can't possibly make that mistake. Like, there is zero possibility that you make the mistake.
They knew. They would have to know, and they still hired him for that role regardless. That's scary. That's terrifying. They're actively enabling a fucking sex offender to potentially prey on more children. Drake also described that when he went into court, Brian Peck had the support of some very powerful and familiar faces.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's like this weird child sex cult that all sticks together. They're all so powerful. Each one of them it vouches for the other one, and somehow they're able to survive. Can you explain to me how every single show and movie in the universe needs to have its plot watered down so hard? Dude, everything that shows up out of Disney's plot needs to get watered down to be more inclusive and loving to everybody, right? It's literally their entire shit. But behind the scenes, these people are literally trading these weird foot fetish crap. It's awful. It's awful.
There were 41 character letters written to the judge asking for leniency for Brian Peck.
41! This is a guy, he's a pedophile. This dude's a pedophile. Guy was a convicted sex offender for lewd acts with a minor.
41 letters of support from industry personnel that were trying to get a lighter sentence for Brian Peck, even knowing that he is guilty of the crimes for which he is about to face the punishment.
It's insane. It's insane. The only way I can imagine that this guy even got a job work Disney was because he put his best foot forward. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. The train started moving and it's not stopping.
Asking for a more generous sentence. These weren't just 41 pieces of toilet paper with nonsensical scribblings on it from nobodies. These were 41 character letters that were submitted by industry personnel, some of whom were high up on the food chain, so these things carried weight. And they're advocating for someone who is guilty of sexually abusing a child. Holy shit. They just viewed it as not a big deal, I guess? Listen, Judge, I understand.
Dude, it's like, here's the thing. If you'd have asked me, do you think that these Hollywood big shot people are actually sex offenders and they don't care that other people are abusing children and they will actively defend them because of all that? Like, do you think that would happen? I would say yes. Like, to be honest. But dude, 12 years dungeon, no trial. This is in unacceptable condition. Unacceptable.
Understand Brian Peck diddled a child. Who at Nickelodeon hasn't? Are you really
what the fuck?
Really gonna throw him away or put him away and throw away the key for that? What about season 3 of Drake and Josh? What actually matters here? Let's think about that. Like, this is crazy to me. It almost stops being surprising learning that Brian Peck landed a job at Disney right after his 16 months in prison for this crime, because it seems like that entire industry just does not give a fuck about the safety of kids to begin with.
True.
So like I said, Quiet on Set isn't just about
Dude, I'm just saying, Netflix greenlit cuties, okay? Like, they are so insanely morally bankrupt. I don't know. I miss YouTube drama. I like YouTube drama much better. This shit's just awful. Like, obviously it's a window into the real world, and that's just very, very heartening, and it's important to know that this actually happens. But dude,
Dan Schneider and all of the awful things that he has done. It's about how awful that entire industry itself is.
And
but
what's so wild is no one cares. Like, something like this will come out, and the named people are gonna obviously get a slap on the wrist. But everyone else is just gonna get away with it. You take someone and you put them in a position of power, and then you expect them to not get corrupted by this power. It's like, well, we saw what happened in the Minecraft community.
Again, Dan Schneider does still play a large role in this docuseries, highlighting the bad workplace and environment that he would cultivate, the weird shit that would go on in like the writer's room and the way he'd treat some people, just a whole plethora of different bad stuff. And in response to all of this, Dan Schneider
pulls out the ukulele and makes an apology video.
Himself actually stepped out from the shadows, leaving
good one.
His little gopher's hidey hole and addressing it head on in one of the most painfully scripted and staged apology video interviews.
I can't believe we're getting all these apology videos. Like, what is wrong with the world? Everyone has an apology video now. Like, are you even in the public spotlight if you didn't have an apology video?
I've ever seen.
Hey, it's Boogie. I played T-Bo on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet on Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss. I'm pleased to say that he said yes.
Bro, is he plugging his podcast right now?
Dan, how are you?
I'm okay.
It doesn't look okay. It looks like Jabba the Hutt just got Me Too'd.
The interview is not conducted by a professional. It's conducted by
his friend,
former actor in one of Dan Schneider's shows, and he is not equipped to handle something like this. This is the biggest load of baloney. Like, this is just some straight up fucking malarkey. There is no push.
You're just gonna give him the lowball questions, let him get away with shit. Listen, if you want to do a solo apology video, fine. But if you want to get some allegedly unbiased interviewer, and then that interviewer just happens to be a friend of you that's throwing lowballs and accepting your apology, it's like, bro, get out of here.
Back from Boogie on anything in this interview at all. It's just strategic softballs designed to give Dan Schneider some kind of sympathetic PR win here.
That is why Dan Schneider is a professional and these YouTubers are not. The virgin YouTuber, sitting there and making a whole apology video himself, recording it, petting his dog first, sighing, crying, talking about how he was in a dark place. That's the virgin YouTuber apology. The based Hollywood celebrity apology. Getting a friend to throw you softballs and make fake cinematic pity moments so that the world could see.
Where he comes out of this looking better. Where he comes out of this like not the bad guy.
Dude, honestly, BoJack Horseman stays to this day as one of the greatest insights in the Hollywood industry of all time.
It's so deplorable that they'd even try something like this with a straight face. I think it is extremely transparent what this is And I'm happy to say pretty much
It's a PR move that means nothing.
everyone saw straight through this. This did not give Dan Schneider the dunk I think he was expecting it to. This did not make him look any better in the...
See, the thing is, right now, with the power of the internet and everyone having a voice and having an opinion and seeing things for how they are, having people like commentary YouTubers that can talk about this and just tear it to shreds, I think that gives so much power to the dark side of so much power has been given to the people in this day and age, and these people cannot get away with it, bro. Look at the new Oompaville thumbnail. Every time Oompaville uploads a video, like look at this thumbnail. It is so easy today to clown on people, right? Clown on people that are just losers, that are cruel and disgusting people. It is so easy to clown on them now and humiliate them. That is the beauty of the internet today. And you can't get away with some corporatized PR response that plays on television and you don't actually hear the pushback. The pushback is there. The mainstream media will not report on anything useful. And it is all this weird echo chamber of opinion.
It actually just made it look even more sinister that he was able to, it seems, pre-prepare this interview to mitigate the potential fallout from the docuseries airing.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to...
I'm a better person. I was in a dark place. He's doing the YouTuber apology video, except he has the PR stuntman to just make believe he's actually saying things.
Anybody that I ever put in that situation.
Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No.
Nah, not cool. Me, when I talk to a pedophile. Okay, I don't know if he was a pedophile. Not cool, man. Those kids that you raped, that wasn't very skibbity toilet chill of you.
Oh, and I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room. Ever. Period. The end. No excuses.
What the fuck does that even mean?
What's supposed to be this moment of taking accountability. Dan Schneider's just point blank apologizing and, you know, holding himself accountable for the sins of the past type vibe. Except he's really not. Like, these aren't things that you just, like, hand wave.
See, here's the thing. Apology videos are really nice when they're genuine. However, apology videos are worthless. They mean nothing. They do nothing. A genuine apology is if there is change. Not that I'm sorry I got caught. What is an apology video? It's this weird parasocial thing that you want your favorite YouTuber to feel, to be shamed publicly. It's a public shaming.
Wave away with like a simple apology. A lot of what was reported is like unforgivable bad shit. Like there's really no way of apologizing for—
I'm sorry that people felt awkward in the writer's room is nowhere near as bad as what allegedly was actually happening.
That Dan Schneider has done and also been accused of. So it's just, it feels so fucking insincere. And Dan Schneider got away with it, and it seems will continue to get away with it. So
crazy thing. It's like the too powerful to fail gimmick. Like, I hate it so much. Why does this person deserve any more justice than anyone else?
He loses nothing by doing something like this, which just makes it frustrating to see him parade around pretending like he cares now all of a sudden. Like, it's extremely—
Literally, you have people in this like level of power and level of manipulation, and with his friend group that are probably also doing the same bullshit. Man will not be defeated, unfortunately.
Easy for him to just be like, oh yeah, that was bad. I feel bad.
Oh, it sucks the way they were treated over there. It was awkward. Oh god, when I stretched his asshole on the desk tape, I thought like that was not right. That was not right at all. It was not very cash money. It was not very butter chicken of me.
For that, what a regret. Yep, not good. Like, it's just, I would have liked if the interviewer was someone that would legitimately dive into a lot of these things and actually press him on a lot of these things. This interview never even addresses the things that people want to hear from Dan on, such as like the sexualization of the children in those shows.
Diddle me this, Batman!
Outside of all the foot stuff, Dan included some very inappropriate things in his programs, such as Ariana Grande milking a potato, and then another scene with her getting like splashed with water and shit. Like, all of it was very unacceptable. and seems to sexualize the child actors and actresses in his productions.
Gross. Oh my god, that's disgusting. It's unacceptable. It's literally unacceptable. How is this man still out there in public doing stuff?
And that was never even brought up in this interview. So this interview it doesn't have any real substance to it. It is legitimately just a scripted PR play from Dan.
I cut it. I want my shows to be popular. I want everyone to like. The more people who like the shows, the happier I am.
Is he explaining why he's sexualizing children? Because people like it and it'll make him more money? Like, is that really the defense mechanism here?
So if there's anything in a show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it.
So I think it's big for you to say with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem.
Cut it. Cut it.
I mean, that's a solution.
The last thing
That is not a solution! Oh my god, bro! This dude, this interviewer guy is... Listen, I don't want to be rude here, but this interviewer guy is culpable, okay? I know that Dan obviously deserves the brunt of the hate here, because, you know, he actually did this shit, but you trying to cover it up, bring it under the... You think the issue is just the broadcasting? The issue is that it happened at all.
The last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's going to upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV.
The last thing I want to do is be a pedophile, okay? The last thing this guy wants to do is upset his audience. Listen, not everyone's the same.
TV. Why would I ever want to do that?
That makes sense.
This is him addressing a question that Boogie asked about, like, inappropriate jokes in there without getting too deep into the weeds, just a broad subject of some of these jokes have aged poorly and people look at them as inappropriate for a child audience. How do you respond? The most softball way of asking this question, mind you, and his response was, cut it. Just get rid of it. I don't want it in the show. If it's aged bad and it makes people uncomfortable or, you know, this and that, cut it. And Boogie's like patting him on the back for it, like, oh my goodness.
You are so brave. So brave. Wow. Here, they should have wrapped one of those fucking survivor blankets that every police movie has after someone barely survives some sort of crime scene where they wrap them in a blanket. He should have gotten up, put a blanket around him right away.
Wow. That's so benevolent. What a great solution. Yeah, that makes sense. What the fuck? It's so easy for him to say that now, but it doesn't take away the fact that you filmed it. If you cut Ariana Grande milking a potato type shit, if you cut some of the foot stuff that you
think cutting that is going to matter at this point?
Included in there, it doesn't change the fact that you still had the child actors and actresses doing that shit and were sexualizing them. It still happened. That's still bad. Cutting it from the final product doesn't erase what you did.
A YouTuber that makes a video, I murdered 6 puppies, and you know, and that's his video, okay? And then, you know, he cuts out the footage of murdering the puppies for his YouTube video. Problem solved!
It's so frustrating that there's no pushback on any of this in the interview. He just gets to let him say his piece and then get applause for it. It's so stupid.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far.
Say in your life. Don't say in your career. This isn't a career thing. This is a life thing.
One of those people wrote letters for Peck, character letters, praising him for who he was and asking for leniency. And they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree. And they still did this. But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said,
dude.
Would you help me with my...
Is he really going to do the fake crying thing?
...my speech for the judge? And I said, of course. And I did.
Dan Schneider's fishing for the Nickelodeon's Kid Choice Award for the best fake crying.
That's insane. What was that?
Feels super forced and super insincere. Him tearing up while talking about this story. This is him talking about the Drake and Brian Peck case, where he mentions 41 people wrote those letters and it baffled him. And then Drake's mom actually asked him to help her write her piece, which he did. And that leads me to a question of, if you knew all this, why didn't you back up Drake Bell?
Well, you see, because this is business. This is business. Dude, this entire industry is so royally fucked up, dude. Honestly, it's YouTubers too. Like, this whole covering up weird sexual crimes because they are friends and you could collab with them and stuff It's like that. It's unacceptable. There are things that are more important than content. I can't believe it. It's insane. But then the interview says, "I'm so sorry that happened to you, Dan. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through a child star getting raped by someone and you knew about it and you didn't say anything. It must have been really tough of you."
The way it's described, Brian Peck had all of these people in his corner, but Drake really only had his mom and his brother. Why weren't you more involved then? Like, I imagine that could have been extraordinarily helpful. But regardless, this interview doesn't do anything to change my perception of Dan Schneider, or anyone else's, really, I imagine, because it's still nothing. This isn't really an interview, it's just a PR piece, disguised as an interview. It's just
insane.
It's just more despicable garbage here. But yeah, anyway,
I don't need my dude to sit his fat ass in that studio and say, "Oh, this is just good business."
I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Again, the docuseries is called Quiet on Set. It's out now. And yeah, just kind of wanted to go over it a little bit.
I think I'm gonna watch that docuseries. I can't believe it. That's insane.
That's it. So yeah.
That was gross. What a disgusting, despicable situation. Oh my god, dude. Honestly, like, I wish I would be more surprised instead of just disgusted, but I am just so disgusted. Ladies and gentlemen, you might not be aware of EDP-445. This man who was caught in a sting operation as a pedophile and has on multiple occasions released information trying to prove that it was in fact faked, and he was set up, and it wasn't real, and he isn't a criminal, and none of that happened, just released a video apologizing and saying, yeah, I'm a criminal, and I'm horrible, and I'm trying to change and get better, because this man is like a cockroach, literally trying to live and thrive in every possible system ever. So we're just gonna jump right into it, baby! The EDP apology! The amount of times this guy just tries to come back by denying it, by making a fake AI video trying to prove that he was innocent, and now by apologizing, this man keeps trying everything. And I pray it never works.
EDP-445 has issued an apology for the cupcake incident from 2 years ago. Not exactly the quickest response time, but it's a little bit faster than Valve responding to Team Fortress 2 issues.
Damn!
So I probably don't even need to give you the lore dump here. The story of EDP-445's fall from grace is a more well-known story than Little Red Riding Hood by this point. But just in case, 2 years ago, he was caught in a child predator sting operation, which also unearthed a lot of other repeated instances of him being inappropriate with minors in his community. For this, he lost his entire career, and since then he has desperately been trying to claw his way back to the internet because it's all he knows. It's his only home, so he pathetically comes back like every couple of months for the last...
Man comes back with some new reason why he should be back on the platform and why he should be accepted and why he didn't actually do something so wrong, and he really did just want a cupcake that one time he was going to visit his 12-year-old fan's house.
Last 2 years, like clockwork, with a new pitiful attempt at reviving his internet career. There's only a few certainties in life: death, taxes, and EDP coming back when no one wants him to. He's posted videos on every platform that allows video sharing capability. I wouldn't have been surprised if he tried to make a career out of streaming on Xbox 360 Arcade Uno, where they used to let you use the Xbox fucking Connect or whatever in order to like have a webcam chat in Uno servers. Wouldn't have been surprised if he tried that. He has gone to every platform ever and has been banned from all of them. Because what EDP did is unforgivable. This is not something you can ever come back from. He should be counting his lucky stars. He's
like, I believe in second chances, but not for this. This is the hard line as to where you don't get a second chance.
Not in jail. He must have had fairy godparents and they granted him one last wish, and it was to avoid jail time. He is... The only reason he's not there is because the investigation and all of the evidence was conducted online, so authorities usually don't use that in like actual prosecution or anything. So he just... He must have collected all the fucking Dragon Balls and made a wish, and Shinron kept him out of jail. Because the amount of proof and evidence of not only the cupcake incident, obviously, where he actually went in person to meet a child for sex, not only just that, but like a repeated history of having similar circumstances with being inappropriate with kids, all of this very well documented. The fact that all of that exists and he's not in jail is beyond a miracle for EDP. And now he is once again doing his standard song and dance, trying to get back his internet career and find redemption.
It's wild.
He's made a couple other videos in the past addressing it loosely, like where he's like eating a cupcake, so literally leaning into being a pedophile, I guess. And
dude, I believe in leaning into the joke. I believe in leaning into the drama. drama. I believe in leaning into the cringe. You don't want to ever lean into being a pedophile. Like, what type of audience are you trying to garner? You want to become a Genshin streamer? Joke! That was a joke! Like, but like, come on, man. Like, seriously, bro.
Acknowledging it. And then only a handful of months ago, he made a statement on his website that was perhaps one of the wildest ideas ever cooked up by a human brain. He said that the whole cupcake incident, that whole scenario was actually all acting.
Yeah.
He was hired.
Remember that time that he said that he wanted to go to meet his fan's house and you know, have a cupcake there? Remember all that? Well, got him! It was the ultimate prank! I tricked you all into thinking I was a pedophile when actually I am not. It's like when the villain, like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, couldn't come up with a plan that bad. I have created the pedophile-fakinator! A machine that can basically create evidence that you are a pedophile!
For an acting job to play a pedophile, and he committed to the role, and he had no idea it was going to be used as like a legitimate thing. He thought it was all just a Shakespearean play, basically, just part of, you know, the acting craft. But this is the first video he's made where he's apologizing and talking about it, like actually talking about it. And I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, wow, finally, he's taking accountability.
There's no accountability that can be taken for this. I also saw people be like, he's finally taking accountability. Excuse me? Sorry. No accountability needs to be taken here. Accountability is when you make a screw up that could be fixed, that you could grow out of. If you cannot, then accountability is worthless.
Starting to, you know, grow now, and you know, maybe he can move on from this. What a bunch of hooey. That is a load of fish paste. He doesn't, in his entire 8.5-minute apology video, he doesn't once refer to what actually happened. When he's
obviously, he can't legally say, yeah, pedophile.
Talking about being caught in a child predator sting operation, he calls it that YouTube shit.
I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021.
Dude, I get goosebumps just looking at this man. This man is evil.
Entire YouTube shit that went down, entire YouTube incident. You know what I mean? That went the fuck down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the fuck happened. Taking full responsibility, full accountability.
The tongue like the full accountability. Cupcake.
My actions.
He doesn't even say what he did and what he like is guilty of. He just loosely refers to it vaguely and brushes it off quickly. That is the opposite of taking accountability. He doesn't even fucking address it directly. Now, he states one of the reasons for
I don't fully agree with this Charlie take because I don't think accountability is even in the cards.
The tardiness behind this apology is because he's been in talks with lawyers over the last couple of years about what he can and cannot say. And I'm just going to slap down the Phoenix Wright objection. I'm calling baloney, because if he did have a team of lawyers behind him after all these years, I'm assuming they would have advised him to not make any of the statements he's made over the last couple of years. Especially the one where he faked emails to try and confirm that all of this was actually just an acting moment. It was all just a ruse. It was supposed to be a movie, not real. It's all fake. Or the other statement he made about how it never happened in the first place and just outright denying it. I feel like if there were lawyers behind him for the last couple of years, they would have told him, do not do that. But let's play ball with that idea for a second. Let's assume he's being truthful. If the lawyers have told him to not mention any of the specifics of the incident, then you can't come on this video and pretend like you're taking accountability or responsibility. If you're not willing to actually tackle what happened and what you are guilty of and actually talk about it directly, then you can't pretend that you're somehow taking accountability or responsibility in the situation. I didn't want to talk about this apology video because I don't think there's any value here. I've already made a few videos talking about EDP over the last 2 years with every attempt he's made to try and come back to the internet, and this is just another one of those. A desperate Hail Mary to try and monetize an internet career again because it is all he has. It is the only home that he knows. So he keeps trying, but this is just not something that you can come back from.
Taking the proper measures and the proper steps forward to seek out help.
Why does he lick his lips after every sentence? Can you explain to me why he needs to lick his lips after every sentence?
And the proper steps forward to seek out help, to try to, you know, get my head on right and to make sure that, you know, in the distant future that I do not hurt, you know what I mean, my loving, caring, supporting friends and family.
You have loving, supporting, caring friends and family, there is no way you have loving, supportive friends and family.
Because they're the ones that hurt the most. They are the ones that suffer the most.
No, they're not.
Victims are the ones that suffered the most. The children that you oh my god.
The actual victims are. What do you mean?
Yeah!
Yes, of course
Charlie
they did get caught in the crossfire here from everything you did online, but you should really be apologizing far more to the actual victims. Not just the cupcake incident, but the actual children that you've been inappropriate with over all the years. He mentions that he's getting help to try and like not be a danger to children.
I don't know what that means. It's like, yeah, I went to therapy, so I don't molest any more children
Anymore, which is good taking those steps, but even if they do cure the pedophile, it doesn't mean that you can come back as some kind of content creator again. You cannot have an internet career again after what you've done. Period. Full stop. There is no coming back from that. I do find it very upsetting that when he does make these attempts at comebacks, he does usually find an audience of delusional weirdos that downplay the severity of what he's done in his past. I'm talking about how like pedophilia is not even a big deal and there wasn't any real victims, which is categorically false. He may not have actually met a child during the cupcake incident. It was all a sting operation, but there were very real victims to EDP that most people seem to forget. Actual children he was being inappropriate with. There are victims. Like, it's not just that one time with the sting operation, the fucking Chris Hansen have a seat to catch a predator moment for EDP. There was many more. It's just not something you move on from. Now, he does mention at the very beginning of the video that he's come close to like hurting himself and ending it all over the last couple of years as a result of everything that happened with this whole situation. And he mentions that he's extremely remorseful for all of it and recognizes that it's all his fault. And he also mentions that his family has been harassed a lot from all of this. And overall, yeah, it's sad to hear that, but again, it is all your fault. You can't come back to the internet after all of this. You are a danger to children. You preyed on kids in your audience. You can't come back online from that. You should have been in jail, but got extremely lucky to avoid that. So you should have been satisfied with just being able to stay out of jail and completely cut ties with the internet. Buckle down in the real world and just do something else and never come back online. Now, I understand over the last 2 years he has tried getting other jobs, but...
Yeah, I think he tried to get a job as an Uber driver, and everyone reported him and was like, yeah, no, sorry, bro. We don't want you being an Uber driver, driving and people of all ages around. No.
Some people have recognized him and felt unsafe because, shocker,
he's a pedophile!
Child predators are a danger in society. So he did lose his job, his other couple of jobs he's had over the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean you just quit and then just go back to the internet to try and monetize there for your career. You cannot come back from what you did online, period.
So if Charlie says so, well then that's just a fact. You're talking to internet Jesus over here, all right? This man, every time I close my eyes and meditate on social media platforms and Twitter, that is my link to the divine. I feel Charlie's beard bristling against my chest.
You should have just kept trying to find a job that you can hold down where people aren't going to recognize and harass you, and just stay pursuing that. He also does mention that the reason he's making the apology is because he wants to eventually have redemption online.
This man does
which
not
I
deserve
think
it,
what
bro.
he's done is irredeemable. I really do. I feel like most people probably do as well. It's an unforgivable act. But he keeps trying. And I don't even think this apology is genuine. This feels once again like another plan of his to try and crawl back online because he has done it so many times before. This is not really taking accountability or responsibility. He keeps saying that it is, but he can't even address the actual issue itself. And like, not only the cupcake incident, he doesn't even mention the other victims outside of that either. So he doesn't actually even take any accountability or anything like that. So I don't even think it's coming from a place of like genuine remorse or anything. It really seems like it's coming from a place of desperation to find a career again online. So yeah, that's about it. So yep.
Oh my god, I hate the whole EDP shit so much. The fact that this man keeps crawling back from under a rock like a cockroach, literally. Like, what a vile fucking creep. This is a drama that shouldn't be categorized as drama. And the fact that he's even apologizing for it like it's drama shows how wrong his headspace is.
Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam!